Good afternoon. My name's Kate. I am here today to talk to you around exploring the role of culture in digital transformation. So, why am I qualified to talk to you today? And what are we going to explore? I think just so you all know a little bit about me, I'm Kate. Some of the fun stuff. So this is me. I like going to gigs ordinarily when we're not locked down and music seems to have been cancelled. I'm a mum to my little girl Seren, who's 7, and a whirlwind. So most of my lockdown has been spent homeschooling and entertaining her. I'm a bit of a crazy cat lady to my rescue cat Bowie, who is our giant furball and is loving us being at home. I also like to run. It's a bit of an outlet for me and helps me process a lot of the busyness of the day to day. And I have got a pretty unhealthy obsession for Dave Grohl. If you don't know him, he's a member of the Foo Fighters and still stands out as my best all-time gig at Glastonbury. So that's the fun stuff. So why can I talk to you about this kind of stuff? Well, I've spent 15 years working in digital in a range of both travel and retail. I've worked in small startup businesses, established large businesses, and small businesses at the same time. So I've managed teams from anywhere of 3 to 4 people up to around 30 to 40 people, and done that within across a range of disciplines within the e-commerce sector, through both CRM to digital transformation and technology roles, and also e-commerce roles. And I think most importantly, the thing that matters the most is that I've worked in businesses trying to transform for the better and essentially trying to achieve what we're all striving for, and hopefully here to learn about more today. So first up, I'm not going to spend loads of time talking about the fundamentals of transformation because I want to dive into a certain area of this, but I think it's worth just reviewing some of this to set the scene. So, I think every business out there says it wants to transform or is on some form of transformation program, and certainly those who want to succeed and build a sustainable business of the future should be. Now, obviously, it's important to have an engaged leadership. So are the people at the top, your C-suite, your board, bought into this program of work? Are they really interested in creating a sustainable business for the future that is digitally led and innovative and customer first? And is there a strategy to deliver on that? So is there a plan by which the company is signed up to and following in order to deliver this? And I think most importantly, technology. Is the technology there to enable you to do this, or are you having to build that from the ground up or take out legacy tech? And what challenges does that present to the business? And are you geared in terms of both data, people and resource to do that? And then data. So do you have a data set that allows you to have insight and the right qualitative and quantitative data to help inform a program of change? So do your numbers back up what you want to do, essentially? And then do you have the budget to do that? So are you trying to do this on a shoestring, or is there a committed budget to help you deliver on this? And then is the resource available? So have you got a committed team, ring-fence team that are supporting this, or are you trying to do this with the people that already exist? But then I think no matter how many of those things you have in place, you could have all those things nailed. If you don't have culture nailed and really spend time as a business focusing on this, then you're not going to achieve a program of change. So that's why I wanted to spend some time today talking about culture, because I think this is the most important thing that you need to achieve as leaders in businesses, leaders of teams, in order to be able to deliver a transformation program, particularly within the digital sphere. So let's talk some facts. So recent surveys by McKinsey and Deloitte have pointed to 16% of CEOs surveyed have said that some form of digital transformation program has been successful and delivered on commercial targets. However, that's been a challenging in terms of sustainability. So, they've managed to deliver on something, but that's not been created a programme of sustainable change, which is then unsurprising when you look at this next stat. So 33% of those people surveyed said that culture and behaviour was the biggest inhibitor to the success of any transformation programme they were trying to undertake as a business. Yet, with all that in mind, in 2020, so we know that it's achievable, but in many cases unsustainable, and culture is the biggest inhibitor to change. Despite all that, the investment into digital transformation programs globally is set to increase by 10.4% in 2020 to around $1.2 trillion. So we've got companies here that know it's challenging, know there's cultural problems, yet are still investing in this kind of work. So let's dive into why that is the case. So I think, we've spoken there about 2020, and I'd like to just explore this in terms of the role of culture and talk about whether it's a change for the better in terms of what we've seen this year. So I'm not going to deny there are many businesses that for whatever reason coronavirus has been catastrophic for them, and really caused business challenges, particularly within the bricks and mortar sector and the high street sector. But there are many businesses which are actually flourished within the current environment situation that we have globally. And I think there's a number of reasons for that. If you look at this image here, working from home, if you'd have asked your partners in business last year, would we be all sat at home working within our home environments, the answer would have been categorically no. Now, I think we've all been thrust into digital transformation, whether we like it or not, or whether we had it planned or wanted this to happen for our businesses. And I think what this has done, it's shown that there is businesses can be innovative. So necessity is the mother of invention, and every business that wanted to perform has had to enable working from home. Now that may seem like a very I suppose kind of minor part of a transformation project. When we talk digital transformation, we think huge pieces of technology, we think big customer facing change, but actually working from home is a massive innovation for loads of businesses, and I think it's proven that this can be done and it can be effective. And we've also had to do that at a great pace, so businesses have had to mobilize in this way very quickly, sometimes in a matter of days or weeks, to get their people working from home. And I think also it's created a level of efficiency. We've proven that we can do this on very limited budget. Many businesses have saved marketing investment and still managed to perform exceptionally well throughout this period, particularly when we're looking at the e-commerce and pure play sector. And we've done this quite often on, skeleton teams and a much leaner operational structure. And, it's not just the working from home that's been enabled in a digital sphere. We're talking about, businesses have had to transform supply chains very quickly, both in terms of creating social distancing and in terms of getting speed to market, getting more stuff out the door to meet consumer demand, and we've had to find new ways of connecting customers with traditionally offline experiences. If you look at the likes of Go in Store, they're doing exceptionally well at taking the offline journey online. So we really had to look at and routes to market. So finding new routes to market, whether that be small businesses, looking at takeaway services. So so in all areas we've really had to do this at pace, and I think this has set the bar for what the future looks like in terms of transformation, and it's forced a lot of people to undertake different behaviours that maybe they wouldn't have done before, would have been less likely to do before. But that said, there are still many systemic problems within the role of culture and how that impacts on digital transformation and the success of those projects. So in order to look at the enablers for that, I think it's worth spending some time looking at the detractors for that. So take hierarchical structures. I've worked in many businesses where you can walk into meetings and be told this is for heads of only, and actually that in itself creates a huge problem for people who are trying to create a cultural environment in which transformation can thrive. Actually, we should be looking to the right here and saying, what we need in those meetings is effective talent. Are all the people in this room capable of contributing in an effective way to this meeting, irrespective of whether they sit at the bottom or the top of that hierarchical structure, even flattening that structure completely. And looking then at siloed working. So it's not uncommon to see many people operating within teams only. So marketing operating within marketing only, IT delivering on one part of the project in silo. And actually what that creates is a wealth of problems around expectations, ability to meet timescales and project deadlines. And also means that people could become very protective over their area of work, and therefore put their arms around it rather than allowing a collaborative structure. So, we need to look towards collaboration. How can you build effective teams across a whole range of company departments to deliver on a single piece of work, so everyone's almost got each other's back, they're working towards a common goal, and doing that together rather than hoping their piece of the puzzle will fit in when you come to pin all that jigsaw into place. And then I think fear of failure for me is a massive problem. I think think about the going into a business and as a new starter and want to have a new idea, and quite often that's difficult to voice or to get across, and also I think it's not uncommon to hear language such as try it but just don't break it, or try it but hope that it works. And I think what that does, it stops people trying new things and creates that fear of failure. Actually, what we should be doing is looking towards a fail fast and test and learn culture. It's something that I've instilled in all my teams, that I'd rather they try something and get it wrong, and learn from that mistake, hopefully not costing hundreds of thousands of pounds in error, but certainly giving them the freedom to operate within an environment which allows them to test and learn and have new ideas and try those ideas out, and hopefully do that, fail quickly and learn, and redo. And then I think there's an issue with IT gatekeepers. So quite often when we look at transformation projects or digital things, it usually involves a piece of technology that we need to either implement to support the wider business transformation project, or to implement to meet the commercial goals attached to that transformation project. Now, what happens in very traditional organisations is IT become the gatekeepers of that. They become the owners of the project. And what that therefore does is take away a shared responsibility. So when that's the CTO or the CIO that's responsible only for that piece of the puzzle, it means that you can develop a blame culture, or people can walk away from that. But also it means that other people can start to point fingers. Actually, if that common goal becomes the objective and the ownership of the CFO, CEO, CMO, CDO, then companies become much more signed up for all the deliverables that go along with that. And then I think for me, certainly there's a level of instant payback. Companies want to see an instant return on this kind of investment, because quite often they're making huge investments into this. But the reality is that it's a slow burn, and actually, if you look to instant payback, it inhibits innovation. So people will always stick within the safety net of what they know will work, rather than trying something that they think won't. So I think it's important to acknowledge, whether you have those behaviours in your businesses, and then if so, it's all well and good saying we should move towards these enabling behaviours, but I think there's I'd like to explore a little bit about how we do that. So So we've spoken about the detractors, we've spoken about some of the enablers that we can look to help this transformation, and look at cultural challenges within businesses. So how do you do this? And we make transformation sound really challenging, for a number of reasons. It's technology, it's frightening, it's something that we maybe haven't done before as teams of people, or we're asking people to think in a new way, which is always a challenge, and pushing people outside of their comfort zones. But it doesn't mean it can't be done. And I think the actual solution to this is really simple. And I think first up, it's having a really simple common goal that's easily communicated. So you look at the likes of Apple, for example. It's one customer, one computer. They've got their brand is built around simplicity, connectivity, and that is inherent through their organizational structures, that ability to test and learn, to try new things, and also a single communication point of what their brand is and what it does, whether you're going into a store or you're leading a team of people that are developing a new product. And I think so having that single, very laser focused vision is essential. And another good example of this is Warby Parker. They identified a problem in the market to do with the cost of eye care, and developed a really rapid speed to market product about cost-effective eye care that actually is sustainable and helps remove or give sight to people throughout the world. Now, their whole customer experience is built on that, and their corporate experience is also matching that. So there's simplicity there again. So I think for me, it's make your objective clear and communicate those strategies to all team members. Now, I think what everyone needs in their business when we're talking about cultural change is this guy here with his hand up. So you need the people, your Trojan horses, so to speak, your advocates for change. Now, these aren't always necessarily the people at the top. These are quite often the people on the shop floor, in the warehouse, who are coming across problems on a daily basis and taking that customer feedback firsthand, and usually have a passion for just trying new stuff. So find these people in your businesses. It's essential that you need these people to help develop the bottom-up approach as well as that top-down approach, because if you're looking at cultural change, these behaviours need to become second nature, and these people, these Trojan horses in your business who are eager to participate and have stuff to bring to the table, will undoubtedly help you take that sandwich approach. So take those top down and also push those behaviours from the bottom up. And then I think, coming over to the third image here, I think there's definitely it's important that it's a common goal. So we've spoken before around technology being the IT being the gatekeepers of that, and actually you need to make sure that your single vision is inherent in the objectives of every single member of your business, whether that be your accounts team, your marketing team, your product teams, and that they've got a shared ownership and an accountability for delivering on those objectives that have been set. And I think there's also a massive point coming over here around customer first. So it's a lot of people pay lip service to this and declare to be customer first. But I think unless you're truly living and breathing this as a concept, you're never going to innovate and change in the way that you need to, and enable the right kind of culture to do that. So if you look at brand, I've been fortunate enough to work with a brand like AO.com, which is 100% customer centric. It's at the heart of everything they do. But that isn't just to external customers. It's not just a front or a persona they're putting on to appeal to customers. It's shared by every member of staff that operates within that business. So it's not about just supporting your external customers, it's supporting your internal customers. And by supporting your internal customers first and your colleagues, that allows you to ask for help, to create an environment where people can think and not just do, which is really important, particularly when we're looking at projects in transformation like automation. that's a massive challenge to the status quo and to a lot of people's roles. So having an internal customer first approach will enable people to, think freely, talk freely, work within a collaborative environment, and in doing so, develop great customer experience, which are the customer experiences which are then external facing and will deliver on those cultural objectives and commercial objectives. So I think, hopefully we've covered a lot today, but for me, certainly culture is the biggest thing that you can do as an organisation in order to support your transformation programs, because without that, the rest is all going to be for nothing, and definitely a lot of wasted budget. So be clear in your vision, find the people at the grassroots who are really interested in this stuff, make sure there's shared accountability, and be truly customer first, both inside and out. So thank you for listening.